Okay. Attack on Titan Volume 6. Just wrapped it up. I had read a part of this when I wrapped up the last review, and then I had to finish it because I couldn't help myself reading ahead. But let me tell you, I can talk about more things. So let's just jump into it. Our first spread here actually introduces a bunch more faces and names. I mean, they're not introduced for the first time. We know who these people are, but I like what they do right here, where they start to scratch off the people who kind of get removed from the situation. But the write-ups are kind of fun to just remind yourself. It gives you a nice, quick snapshot of each of the characters as you go, especially when it comes to the Levi squad. Like, those names don't always stick to me, like Eld and Uolo, right? Oluo, stuff like that. Petra is a name I'll always forget. Gunther, for example, is one I'll always forget. So, I mean, they just don't stick because they are not, it's just, there's a lot of characters. And then the character, I didn't remember her name, and now when I read it, I was like, of course it's Krista. It's Krista. Now, what I went back to check, because I was like, no way was that Sasha telling Krista that if she's crying, she might as well give up now. Like that scene right here from Volume 5. I was like, who the hell is this person? That person is not that person. There's no way. If it is, it's a weird, like, it just feels like a completely different person, and I don't appreciate it. Anyways, this volume here has 4 chapters, so really long chapters coming up here, and yeah, so wow. Wow. So continuing from the last chapter, we have Armin here being chased by the female Titan. The chapter itself is, of course, called The Female Titan. Pretty straightforward. Chapter 23, that's a great spread right there. I just realized how that might have come across. That's not how I meant it. But anyways, it's a good shot. I mean, it just shows you the sheer size of the Titan. Also, because I made a comment of the Volume 5, the cover design being pretty weak, and I think most of the covers are pretty weak, I'll say this one's getting better. Let me get the glare out of there. This one's getting better. This one's almost like really decent. I feel like it could be better, but it's better. Yeah, I like the composition here, but I feel like they could probably have zoomed in a little bit more. They probably could have removed at least one more of these like Titans back here. It just gets very distracting near the back, and really focus more on the female Titan, because that's like where the main plot is. Anyways, so could it be better? Yes, but is it pretty decent compositionally? Yes. And I just wanted to bring that up because I made a comment on the last one. I just want to, maybe this is something I kind of see along the way, because I don't remember the covers of all of the future manga. I've put them up on the wall there, and they've been moving around in stacks, and so I haven't really analyzed the covers. Now I'll do that as part of these kind of vlogs along the way. I was going to say like reaction. I don't know what these are anymore. Look, we're just going to roll through. What I got to say, let's just jump back into this. The action that starts kicking off here with the female Titan Armin chase is pretty spectacular. Unlike the covers, let's not keep going back there. I really like the way that this plays out. It really shows just a lot of the dynamics. I could really follow along the action with this one. And so female Titan coming in, and this was a great page flip right there. And then bam, just man, oh man, pulls the hood down. And I almost feel like, was the Titan about to speak there? Or I'm not sure what the Titan was doing there. But then look at that. I mean, the Titan's just like, yeah, all right, whatevs. I guess I'm going to leave you behind. It just like completely destroyed the other ones, the brother and sister, just like with advanced tactics. Obviously, this is a person inside, and it's a person that has high combat skills. I believe this scene was maybe too heavy a nod. If you catch my I mean, those of you who have read this, I don't want to spoil for those who are following along or reading along for the first time, but I guess I should start off as well. Careful with the spoilers in the comments below. I will be spoiling things in this volume, of course. So if you're here hoping to not be spoiled, that's strange, because we are on volume 6, and so I want to speak candidly about things as I go, and I will speculate things, and because I speculate does not mean I need them confirmed in the comments below, because of course that could be spoilers for me and it would ruin my experience with all of this. Like the part of the experience of me kind of talking this through with all of you is for you to hear what I might be thinking along the way, which maybe you were thinking along the way, or you were speculating, or maybe you didn't catch something or whatever. And I want to show you from a storytelling perspective where some of these signals are and how I read books and look for these signals. And I haven't talked about this for a while now, but I used to do narrative deconstruction on these, where I would break this up into basically 25% portions, and then again, I'm sort of, and this I do this like naturally when I read novels, comic books, anything, right? And so in the first 25% experience, it's my act one or the phase one of the story, and I'm looking for the signals that are going to be these drops that are going to then pay off in the last quarter, that kind of thing, right? Or they're going to be narrative details that might be subtle, but they're intentionally subtle. Now, something like this wasn't very subtle. It's very explicitly like, Armin could have gotten destroyed here. He wasn't. And then you have to ask the question, well, why wasn't he? And then you could probably put the pieces together now between volume 5 and volume 6 that this is very likely. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know who's in this Titan at this point. Should I say it out loud right now? Maybe not. Maybe I'll wait for something else to happen where it becomes more evident and then I'll call it out. I'm waiting for something specific to happen, but it's going to involve Eren fighting with the Titan for me to maybe pick something out, and it'll be an explicit callback to maybe a volume 4 when something else happened in there. I think you all know where I'm going with this. You all know who I'm assuming might be in this, but maybe I won't say it out loud. I mean, just in case. I'm not sure. I just warned everybody, both to be careful with spoilers in the comments below, but also if you don't want to be spoiled, and I'm speculating, my speculations are not spoiling anything for you because I don't know for sure. I'm going to be saying it. There's only one person I know who is a strategic competent, okay? Anyways, and I'll tell you why this callback is very important. Now, remember again, if this chapter happened on a monthly basis with people reading this online, right? Your volume 5 chapter, I don't think it would have been the last chapter of this book where this came up, but no, it was not. It was the second last chapter of this book, like where they're going to belong and where they're going to be a part of, and they're all talking to each other, come on, about where they think they're going to fall, etc. before the goddamn it, where is it? It's the scene right here is the one that stood out to me, which it wouldn't have, but it did, because when I read a scene like this, I think about what is the purpose of a scene like this, of Armin saying, you're actually pretty nice. What? And she gets kind of thrown off, and I guess I just explicitly let you all know. And so we're gonna keep going forward. But that's what I'm moving forward with, assuming please don't confirm or deny. I do have Armin then saying, you're not going to kill me? What was that? It grabbed my hood. It checked my face. Now maybe the Titan's looking for Eren, which that's fine. That's fair. But I don't think that's what happened. I don't think that's why. I think explicitly from a narrative perspective, what I just showed you is the bridge. Now, you might miss that if this is monthly installments, and that would have been 2 months ago when you would have read this on whatever app or online or wherever, however magazine that this was released in, right? But that's how I took it. Okay, so we're going to move on. We have now the crew finding Armin here, joining back up. They have an extra horse, thank God, or they got his horse back. Of course, they're very expensive, so thank God. I did say I was going to review this instead of walking through it page by page, didn't I? And I just get compelled to kind of look through it again because there were some really good moments in this, man. So it's hard for me not to kind of go through this. Anyways, I'm going to try to be a little bit more cohesive. Anyways, cohesive? Streamlined. The flares go up, the warning call, but we have Jean and Reiner now joining Armin, and they're going to have to chase this thing. And I mean, remember the horse speed. The horses are faster than the Titans, so in theory they could catch up, especially if this thing is a little more tired. They might be able to still catch up on it and maybe take it out or neutralize it. That same direction that one came from, don't tell me that one led the other Titans here. So there's some extra strategy going on where this Titan seems to be maneuvering other Titans in order to take advantage of the formation itself. So it has inside knowledge. That's a human in Titan's body, someone with the same abilities as Eren. So now Jean and Reiner are brought up to speed, and he gives them the summary, like they basically just murdered the other Survey Corps members, didn't eat them, just kept moving. And so it definitely looks like it's on a mission to do something. And they're basically breaking down like, yeah, this looks like things are going to be, it's going to be breaking up the formation. So it's basically they're being told different things about where Eren even is, right? So I bet the person she's searching for is Eren. Eren's in Squad Levi, which is leading the right flank where that Titan was. The right flank, according to the operational chart I was given, he's supposed to be stationed near the back of the left flank. The copy I received has him positioned up front on the right flank, but there's no way they'd put him on the front line. So, and then it's a little bit of the flashback panel, of course, of Erwin, a super statistician working through, basically just not because you don't know who the mole is. And so Erwin, being who he is, sort of made sure that the information was spread out there. And so wherever that mole was, they weren't going to get the proper information. They'd have to basically do what this Titan's doing, running back and forth, trying to find Eren. So maybe that hood pullback was them thinking maybe it's Eren, but then it was Armin, and maybe had a memory of Armin. You know what I mean? We're going to move forward. So like I said, that one really is intelligent. From her point of view, we're nothing more than insects. So Braun busting Jean a little bit about, wow, you only cared about yourself. But now, don't want to have to face bones burned so bad that no one can identify them. So he's really carrying the memory of Marco here, driving him forward. I know what needs to be done right now, and all of us chose this job, so help me out here. So he's gonna go for it. Put your hood on. So maybe that little tactic here from Armin is like, if you got the hood on, she doesn't know who she's taking out, but if she's trying to get Eren alive possibly, then she's not gonna want to kill them by accident, kill Eren by accident. That might be why she's checking. So if they put on the hoods on, she has to maybe stall a little bit, and Armin's figured that out. I didn't pick that up on my first read. See, that's why I'm going page by page, man. So they are catching up on her. We have them circling. We got some Armin thoughts here. Just stick to my plan, guys. Attract and hold her attention for as long as possible, long enough for the formation to be able to withdraw. Keep her here for the longest possible time. That was a little bit redundant there, but ideally we'd be able to cut the tendons in her ankles, but don't be reckless. No one's asking you to bring her down from what I hear. She knows very well that her weakness is the nape of her neck. She's entirely different from the other Titans. Killing her is beyond our capabilities. So they are circling. She's aware of that. She pivots, which is cray-cray. And it's like, oh shit. And then boom. Bye-bye, horsey. That horse has learned how to fly. And then this is a great action. Just like the art gets really good now. Like sometimes it's kind of weak, but I'm telling you, it's the speed of progress of the style here. And this is like, horses are extremely hard to draw, by the way, especially like where you're drawing this often and this consistent. Like most of the artists I've worked with have always talked about how horses are rough, man, because the way their legs are, and like in action scenes, it always feels like it looks awkward, but horse legs are just awkward. I think that's what it comes down to. So, but when drawn, it's really difficult to get. I'm derailing. Anyways, I'm saying that the art is really good, and the consistency of progress here of the mangaka is very well documented. And this is what I love about going in sequential order with the same artist on a book. With Hajime Ishiyama here, like you can tell from the first manga to this one, there's a massive leap, man. I am repeating myself, I know, but it's like, it's really good. Like this action scene is really, really good. Anyways, I love that Jean and Braun going at it. Like it's such a good combo. Like these are probably my two favorite action-y kind of characters. Like when both of them get involved in something, I'm probably gonna love it. But Braun in particular, like there's something about the way he approaches a problem, because he's got a physicality behind him, and it hasn't really been demonstrated, but it gets demonstrated in this chapter. Oof. But yeah, it's so good to look at this again. Look at this, man. Just look at that. You would never have seen a splash page like this in volume 1. You just wouldn't. And there's a really cool detail right here. So bam, right there, like very clearly acknowledges the fact that the weakness is if they hit her in the nape of the neck, she's done for. And so we have more epic kind of combat sweeps here. Armin is bleeding pretty bad there. I remember like really liking the way that something gets described here. So let me reread for a sec. Shit, I won't be able to get away from her now. It's impossible to kill her. I dodged her last shot by dumb luck, but I think that just ran out. That's it. I'm gonna die here. The second she grabs my wire, it's over. Jean, get revenge. Armin, remember that suicidal bastard on the right flank? Well, he really is dead. You have to avenge him because she killed him. Did he hit his head and lose his mind? This isn't a good time. She stopped moving. No idea why, but for now, that saved my ass. He's distracting her by saying these things. She's the one who trampled my best friend. I saw him sticking to the bottom of her foot. Yeah, it's a full-on distraction. She's paying attention to Armin, and Armin's basically creating an opening for Braun to come in here. He's going straight for the nape. Wait, he just might be able to do it. Armin's got her distracted. If he goes right now, and he's going for it. But then glare, and then grab, and it's a uh-oh moment. Irk. Hey, and then splat. That's terrible. Hey, Reiner, are you? What? That one freaked me out because I really liked Reiner. And even now for a moment, I was like, wait, I don't remember him dying. Right, because that's the part that was awesome. That was the part that was awesome. Comes out bloody, cuts off her fingers so that he doesn't get. Oh, that was so good. All the blood. It's like it was that. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's blood that comes out of the Titan, but in any case, he cuts his way out of it. So fucking. That was so cool. I think we bought plenty of time. Now let's get the hell away from here. If she's not trying to eat us, I don't think she'll chase. Mikasa's so strong that I'd forgotten. Reiner's better by far than the rest of us. We can really count on him. Look, that big bitch. She's so scared. She's turning tail. No, how? The rear center is in that direction. And that's where Aaron is. And then bam, we get a topic on yeast. Which you might say, what? What's the point? What's the point? There's kind of a neat little point here. It's basically that they have this like way of preserving things for longer periods of time. Because I was thinking like, okay, so they produce things, but if things go rotten in the city and they don't have land to farm, because they made a comment in the last volume about the whole land thing, right? Needing more land, not enough food. And then part of me was thinking, oh man, was it volume 3 or 4 where they talked, it was probably 4, where they talked about like how many died after Wall Maria came down, and it was like a massive portion of that population was destroyed. And then part of me was like, that might have been like a play on survivability from the inside, because the inside would want the food. You see what I'm saying? And so I started thinking, were they just trying to, because I think there was a line that was said, I just might not be remembering it, but there's a seed in my brain that because normally when I think of things, it's because I read one line somewhere and it just made something spark, but it was something along the lines of, it's less mouths to feed. So you kill the population, and then the people on the middle circle and the inner circle, they get the food. You know what I'm saying? And then you get this thing on yeast, which is about preserving the food longer, which would make sense because they'd have to do something like that because they don't have as much land to produce on. Anyways, I'm too much. Maybe this becomes even more important later on, but it's just I never think stuff isn't supposed to mean something. Like, I don't believe that I end a chapter like I just read, and then I read something like this. It's telling us about yeast, and it's just supposed to be like this throwaway information. I don't believe that. That's how I approach things. So we have the next chapter here, chapter 24, the Titan Forest. What are we gonna do? We've only got the one horse. If Jean's horse comes back, the three of us will be able to move. So they're sort of stranded, and she does have that flashback of her kind of looking at him but not doing anything and just thinking about it. But it's a reminder for us again in the next chapter to, hey, remember that moment where Armin could have bit it but didn't? Maybe think about that, you know? There's a big page here of text that I want to reread. I mean, hold on. I mean, they're calling one horse back. I mean, one horse learned how to fly. Is that the horse they're trying to call back? So the horse isn't coming back because it actually got wrecked, and maybe they didn't notice it or something. And as we can't afford to stay here any longer, worst case scenario, they got to leave someone behind. So who's it going to be? Blah, blah, blah. We all kind of like, you know, there's Jean and Reiner, or probably you don't want to. Sorry, Aaron, it's probably going to be our man. I don't think you're fully conscious. Yeah, I'm still a little out of it. Well, we've got to make a tough choice. It seems like one of us has to stay behind. Wait, before we decide on that, let's try firing off a flare. If the formation is still moving straight on, the third squad of the fourth column should be in the vicinity. And they're all like, oh, that might be a good strategy. And so they fire the flare, and lo and behold, bam! We got something coming with more horses. And they're bringing 2 horses. And it's Krista, the person's name that I forgot, the one that was crying. Look at her eyes right there. I mean, she's seen some shit. Like, she's not, maybe it's just like, maybe it's just the drawing of it, but like even this page right here, her eyes are they're just like, they've seen some stuff. They got that outline on them. They're a little larger than normal. It just could be just the art style just makes her eyes large often, but it's something that stands out to me. Anyways, she comes in. Poor thing was so scared. Okay, so his horse did not learn how to fly. I forget whose horse learned how to fly. It doesn't matter. The horse looks like it knows how to land as well. It's an acrobat horse. It seems you have an affinity with the horses, not to mention rare selflessness. And that's a good little point here on her character, on her maybe progress, because she's had the least amount of focus so far, I think. And so this little moment here might be important. You saved our lives. I'm just relieved. I'm so happy that the worst didn't happen. And the reason being because she saw the flare and she came towards the flare where you're supposed to move away from the flare. And so I think that's how I read into this in any case. I'm glad you went out of your way to check out our flare. Yeah, well, I was in the area anyway, and I had Jean's horse with me, so anyways, I read that a little bit backwards, but you get the point. She should have moved the other way. She came instead. I'm not sure how else to read into that, but we did get a little bit of an extra detail on Krista now. She's got an affinity for horses. Maybe that becomes a major plot point later on, because that's what this series seems to do. It drops like a seed, and then like 2 volumes later, a volume or 2 later, a couple chapters later, it'll come back up. It'll do a little bit of repetition in the narrative, which I always love. Yeah, repetition narratives or mirror narratives are always fun for me. So now a bunch of flares start going off. It looks like everyone's moving the columns, shifting things around. But don't tell me the commander's squad hasn't seen the flares. Well, no, things are still going. They're still pushing things along. Levi moving forward here. Ulo fires his flare, and then Aaron says, even though we're outside the wall, there are no signs of any Titans. Is it because we're in the safest position in the whole formation? So Aaron, realizing that he's very likely at the center at this point. So we got a message rider coming through. The right flank enemy scouts have been devastated. The right flank is now blind to enemy movement. So there goes the messenger. So black flares start to go up. There's an abnormal. Aaron, you fire it off. Yes, sir. So bam. Below that flare are people battling. We have a 2-page spread here of the female Titan running through a squad here, or I mean, kind of not really ignoring, but if they intercept, or if they try to intercept her, and they think she's just an abnormal, well, they find out real quick that they're not dealing with a normal. I also, a normal abnormal. She's running with the hand at the back of her head too, at the nape of her neck, so she knows what to protect, and she's like, it's very strategically sound. And we do have some cool action scenes, of course. Really nice dynamic art that is a crazy advancement relative to the first volume. Look at that. Some good stuff, man. And just persistently with that hand covering the nape of the neck, protecting the human inside. Seems like this one's a clever abnormal, but no way can it defend against all of us. Well, let's find out about that. This dude goes for the Achilles tendon, and of course, nothing happens. Can't cut through. And you're like, what the fuck? What is happening here? How? Grabs the cord. We all know that that's a bad sign for folks, and then jumps, which is something they don't expect to happen, which of course when she jumps they kind of go with it because their cords are attached, and holy crap, everything's chaos, and then bam, lands on one, crushed, done, and then everything just goes to absolute hell. Let me go. Well, yeah. Oh, let me go, huh? It's twirly, 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 twirly. Just such a nasty scene. And then the end result is just like bent in half and not in the right way, not the way the spine's supposed to go. And this is just a brutal friggin' moment right here. Runs into dude over here, and then alley-oop, kickaroony, and oh yeah, horse and soldier. Goodbye. Whew. We'll stop it. Don't let it get any further. The right flank has been annihilated. We've been heading west for some time now. Strange when the old city is to the south. The old city? There was an old city. I think I missed that the first time. Anyways, there's just formation on this side. And then we're getting up towards the front. We have some people talking. Keep going and we'll hit the forest. Yeah, there it is. So they see Titan Forest. And we're in the center column here, which is, again, you don't have to pay attention to these things as you go, but it makes it easier for you to kind of see, like visualize the terrain as you kind of go and hear these people speaking. These trees are absolutely massive, man. Only the central column wagon escorts are to enter the forest is the note. We have a 2-page spread here of just how massive this forest is and just how much coverage exists in here. And it's a brilliant play because, of course, having all these trees around allows for a lot more strategic maneuvering. And they realize, yeah, what's going on right now. So it looks like we have to split around the forest. We're not to go inside because that's the order. They singled out Squad Levi, pushing through with Aaron. Now we have a cool moment here where Aaron starts to speak up and ask questions. So with just the central column here, we can't detect approaching Titans and something's coming on our right flank. Sir, how are we supposed to avoid the Titans and protect the wagons? Stop whining about the obvious. Of course we can't do any of that. Huh? What are you saying? Look around you. These overgrown trees are the perfect environment for vertical maneuvering gear. So he points out to Aaron that it's not an accident that they've chosen this tactically, this strategic move here. Now think. Use the modest intellect you do possess. Think hard. Your life depends on it. And Aaron's like, oh, yeah. This is a whole order thing, right? Like following orders. Don't really like trust your squad is a big theme going on with this one, with this volume in particular. The next couple chapters for sure. I see I'm still a raw recruit, so I haven't been able to process the situation. I guess he won't just give me the answer because I need to learn on my own. I bet they learned how to fight the same way. Yeah, so he's talking about Squad Levi and how like synergistic they are. Wait a second. Don't tell me no one knows. No one gets what's going on here because everyone's looking confused here, and Aaron's realizing that not like people didn't get all the information here, and that was intentional by Irwin, of course. Here she comes, just like swatting them away like they're nothing. And we got a little bit of write-up on the Titan Forest, if I recall correctly. Yes, it was a tourist attraction. Without human intercession in the last several years, the area has fallen to ruin with the forest path mostly swallowed by weeds and trees, although although parts of the path remain intact from the comings and goings of the Titans through the woods, the forest has become an important base for the Survey Corps, used to protect themselves from the Titans while on expeditions outside the wall because of the size and coverage and stuff like that. So, and the height and the maneuvering gear, etc. So, anyways, they all position up around the edge of the forest. Up on the trees is what they were told, so they're all just chilling, checking things out, asking questions, of course. I hear the commanders in extreme situations get judged incompetent by their subordinates, and die of mysterious wounds to the back. It happens all the time. Jean, what are you going to do? Huh? Oh, Jean, what are you going to do? Please, don't listen to me. Just pissed off is all. Jean, don't do it. What am I going to do? Follow orders. Keep Titans out of the forest. You think that's what we should do too, right, Armin? What? Then we look on your face, and then just quiet. Oh yeah. What's going on there, Jean? What's going on in your head? And then the 5-meter class approaching. So now we have Titans coming around, but they have been given orders to not kill them, I suppose. Just like hang out, don't do anything, let the things be what they are. Look at that, another 2-page spread, which is great. Amazing art once again, great line work, good control of visual pacing along the way. We do have the face and the eye and the recognition that is the target. Now we know for sure that's what's going on. We can't get away just galloping straight through the forest. It's fast, it's gonna catch us. Switch to vertical maneuvering, and then away they go. Up and away. Great inking too, and motion lines, just great control. Oh man. But then of course, Splatteroonie. They gotta do what they gotta do. Everyone knows what they signed up for, and they're like, oh damn. Now Aaron's gonna be, this is a big test for Aaron right now and Squad Levi. I'm gonna chop it to pieces. Fool, you don't know it, but you stepped into hell. You're chasing after a group of expert Titan slayers. Why would Aaron be thinking about that with the Titan? I don't know. Why did Aaron say fool right now? You don't know it, but you've stepped into hell? Huh, that's weird. I think that's weird. Captain Levi, give us your orders. Everyone, cover your ears. They do. And then something happens. A sound grenade. Yeah, this is the big test right here. What's your job? To give in to whatever you happen to feel. I don't think so. No, the squad's mission is to keep that little shit from getting so much as a scratch or die trying. So they've all got their orders. They've all got their mission. And in hindsight, that line really landed in a much different way to me. Damn, man. And knowing how this mangaka writes things and seeds things, that line probably carries a lot more weight than it seems. We'll find out. We'll find out next volume, because I know it's not in this one because I've read it. I thought their assignment was to monitor me. Will depend on the horses from here on. Got that? Roger. Depend on how far? That thing's right behind us. He's panicking. There's still some swatting going on with anyone who's along the way. Why? Who can stop that thing other than Squad Levi? Because Aaron's thinking, like, just turn around and kill this thing, because he doesn't know what the plan is, right? But he's got to trust the squad. He's got to trust the orders. And sometimes you don't know everything. You just have to trust the orders. Aaron, face forward and keep moving. You're telling me to look away from the battle? You leave our comrades to die and run? And she looks at him knowingly, because this is the challenge. This is the test, man. Yes, that's right. Follow the captain's orders. I don't understand why we have to leave our fellow soldiers, and I don't understand why nobody will explain the reason. It's because the captain decided he didn't need to explain. You can't understand that because you're still a rookie. If you get it now, shut your mouth and obey. Wolo stepping up, and he just watches some more devastation happening behind him, and he's almost gonna do it. He's almost gonna do it. Why am I always turning to other people for help? I should fight myself. He's almost gonna do it. Aaron, what are you doing? That's only allowed when your life is in danger. You promised, remember? And he stops. He stops himself from the bite. You're not wrong. If you want to do it, go ahead. Levi's just like, bro, you do it. But like, everyone's got their orders. Everyone knows what they're gonna have to do. If you do it and it's not the right call, you know what's gonna happen. I know he's a true monster. Oof. And then she's like, Captain, I know he's a true monster. It's got nothing to do with his Titan power. No matter how much he's held back, no matter what cage he's in, no one can force him to submit. Look at that scene right there. You know, because that would have been when he was in the dungeon, I suppose. But he's got those eyes, those crazy eyes. But it's like, does Aaron not remember? Like, that happened? Or I did it happen? I'm not sure. But the difference between our judgment and yours is experience. You don't have to fall back on that. Choose. Believe in yourself or believe in me and them, the Survey Corps. I don't know the answer. I never have. Whether you trust in your own strength or trust in the choices made by reliable comrades, no one knows what the outcome will be. So, as much as you can, choose whatever you'll regret least. That was a great little monologue by Levi there, and it gets Eren to pull back his hand and accept that he's going to have to trust. He's going to have to trust the squad. Trust us. She's almost pleading. And then we have a flashback here. I thought of a way to stop you, just short of killing you. And we're going to be getting a little bit of exposition here. We're doing a bit of a flashback here, talking about how to extract the human that is, or Eren in this particular case, but it would also apply to this female Titan. Then we would cut off your hands and feet. They'd grow back anyway, like a lopped off lizard tail. So basically, they have a way of extracting the body if they have to. They don't have to kill him, and that's what they'll do. So we get a bit of again the exposition on how it's possible to do it if you had to do it. Yeah. So are you telling me you don't want to take any risks or make any sacrifices? No, sir. Eren says. Then get over it. We have as much chance of getting killed in the process as you do. So relax. There it is. And that's pretty much yes, sir. Understood. It's everyone's have to. That's just what it is, man. Everyone could die. You get 90% of Survey Corps members died in the last 4 years, man. So you think that's gonna change? And so they have a way of like testing his transformation capabilities, seeing what triggers it. So they put him down in a well because they figure they could. It's the best way to kind of control him because he can't really get out as fast, etc., etc. So if he loses control, etc. So Hong here has like, of course she's got this sort of figured out. He just bites himself and nothing happens. So it's not the pain. Now he thought it was the pain because that's what he was rolling with, but it's not. So something happened. No, I can't turn into a Titan. So now they're like, okay. So unknown variable makes it almost riskier because then it's like, well, then what's the trigger? Like, how do we get you to do it when you want to do it or not do it when you don't want to do it? You know what I'm saying? Like what's the trigger then? And then we have this moment here where they're all eating and enjoying their time here. This is weird to me. I still can't really figure this one out because of how just odd it is. But Levi does approach him and says, if you can't turn into a Titan, the mission to rebuild Wall Maria goes down the drain. Do something about it. That's an order. Yes, sir. Don't take it so hard. Well, it goes to show that you're more human than I thought. I prefer this to losing my life. It's not like I was... that's Gunther? I think that's Gunther. That's right. Not Ugo, though. I prefer this to losing my life. It's not like it was for nothing. Yeah, there's no such thing as being too cautious. Why haven't they lost hope? If I can't turn into a Titan, we're all in big trouble. And then this happens. Wait for it. It's like they don't want to change the status quo. And then he drops the spoon here. Are you all right? And then he goes to reach for the spoon. And then for some reason, he has this like whatever moment, moment that messes up his control or something. But he sort of controls it because he starts to turn into a Titan because he dropped the spoon. But then it's only like partial. Like his arm is, I guess, stuck in a partial torso rib cage with the Titan hand grabbing the spoon. I'm not sure what the hell happened here. It's like, whoa, why now? Calm down, Captain Levi. What is this? I'm telling you to calm down, all of you. What a great moment here. He's just so relaxed, and everyone is down here where my fingers are all blocking. I mean, everyone's ready to like mess him up. Like this is about to go south right now. Now the chapter ends, but I thought this was great. I thought this was a really great scene here because because they were all primed. They knew they almost like they know what their next order is, but it's almost like they're waiting for Levi to sort of give that the go. But if Levi's not doing it, then it's almost like, is there another plan here? Did Levi know what he was doing? Like, does Levi know the trigger? Like, how do we, like, I didn't catch it. I don't understand how to read that one right now, but maybe it'll come up and it'll make sense. So we have a continuation of that scene in the next chapter. What the hell was that noise? Oh, what was that noise? Anyways, it's episode 26, The Easy Path, and they all get there and they're like, what the hell? There's like a partial Titan on the ground and Aaron's arm is stuck in it, and yeah, seriously, and everyone's like freaking out. Everyone's like ready, like everyone's activated here. What the hell? What? Why now without permission? Answer me. Eld, hold on. And Levi's always calm. Answer us, Eren. What's the idea? I mean, they're still freaking out on the flip page here. All of the aggressive line work here of like just the emotion behind all of this panic, you know. Prove you're not our enemy. No, an enemy of the human race. What? Prove it now. It's your duty. Go ahead. That arm so much as twitches and your head'll fly off. I swear I'll do it. Want to try me? Wolo. I said calm down. Levi's still trying to calm everyone down. Captain, please move away from Eren. So he steps between them. You're too close. Listen to me. You're the ones who should move away. Back off. Why? Well, that's what my gut tells me. Levi, rolling with gut here. What's wrong, Eren? Say something. Explain yourself. Eren, I'm trying to. Answer me. Are you an enemy of... Hey, please be quiet. So Levi finally loses his cool. And everyone's like, what the hell? And then look who comes running. Eren, can I touch that arm, please? Can I? It's okay, isn't it? I can, right? I'm just gonna touch it. Oh my god. And then, no, hot. Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that. He's goddamn hot without skin on. Really, really hot. You're too reckless. Aaron, aren't you hot? What's happening to the joint of that right arm? I've just got to see it. That's right. If I can just pull my arm out. Stupid Titan body. Yeah. And he rips his arm out, and then... Oh no, Aaron, so soon. I wasn't done testing. And then we got the spoon and the fingers that are evaporating. And then Levi just asks, how do you feel? Captain! Everyone's confused. Not so good, he says. I'm here. I'm assuming you're letting me live. And I guess you don't think I'm a mortal enemy of the human race either. But being treated with such hostility made me realize just how much they don't trust me. Levi's still calm. Of course they don't. That's why I chose them. Huh? Mm-hmm. Petra Raul, 10 kills, 48 assists. Uloo Buzado, 39 kills, 9 assists. El Jin, 14 kills, 32 assists. Gunter Schultz, 7 kills, 40 assists. The fact that Uolo is basically a front person, and there's basically 3 supports for Uolo. Uolo's going in. That says something about Uolo for sure, right? You thought, like, I thought he was a derpy one. He's got the derpy face. He tries to talk all cool like Levi, but fails, bites his tongue. But bro is in there. He's a frontliner, just wrecking things. So Levi continues, come back home alive and you're a full-fledged member is the common view in the Survey Corps. But those people have lived through hell again and again, producing results all the way. They've learned how to live. When facing a Titan, you never know enough. Think all you want. A lot of the time, you're going into a situation you know nothing about. So what you need is to be quick to act and make tough decisions in worst case scenarios. Ooh, I'm worried. Still, that doesn't mean they've got no heart. Even when they had their weapons pointed at you, they had strong feelings. However, they have no regrets. Captain Levi, Squad Leader Hong is asking for you. So Levi pulls Aaron into the room with the rest of the crew here. This is a great scene. Really, really good scene here. Wait, it's just such a weird exchange. Wait, were you taking a long shit? No, that went smoothly. Wait, what the time was explaining to our superiors what happened. Anyway, Aaron, let's start by having you take a look at this. A teaspoon, that's right. That right hand you sprouted was gripping this. You were holding it like this, between the thumb and index finger. I don't know what that means, but that might be a trigger. That might be a sign. It's kind of hard to believe that it'd be stuck there by coincidence. And yet, for some reason, that spoon retained its shape. Despite the heat you gave off and the pressure of your Titan grip, does anything come to mind? I remember bending over to pick it up, and I turned into a Titan right after that. She looks at the spoon. I see. I don't. Not yet. Maybe this is something to do with the reason you couldn't transform earlier. I'd kill other Titans to protect against cannon fire. Oh. To lift a rock. In each of these situations, there was a clear objective before you changed. Maybe harming yourself alone isn't what triggers it. Maybe it won't work unless you have some sort of goal triggered. I don't know why I didn't catch. I just finished this. Sometimes you gotta read it twice. Hey, what are you doing? Ow, this is great. That hurt. Aaron, I'm surprised you can bite yourself like this on a regular basis. We made an error in judgment. This is our way of paying for it. I know it doesn't mean anything. What? It's our job to keep you in check. That still stands. So don't push your luck, kid. I'm sorry, Aaron. You must be disappointed in us for being afraid and acting like fools. But even so, one person can't do much alone. That's why we act as one group. We count on you, and I hope you'll count on us. Trust in us. That is a great spread. They each bite their hand like Aaron did. Right, to transform into Titan, almost as like penance for having lost their cool and possibly making the wrong judgment. But anyways, it just feels like it's like a blood bond moment, I suppose. I think it was a cool moment, and it's probably going to really matter. And then we come back to the present, and it shows the wound on the hand there, where because of course so much has happened. Literally a chapter and a half happened between that flashback, but it was right when she said trust in us, right? And then it went into this flashback and gave this context, and then it comes back and it bridges that visual there. But of course, this would have been a month for people following the chapters, which would be kind of weird, but you can always go back and read the other chapter and then get this, or you read it in a manga in a Tokobon format, and then you're going to pick up on it if you read it back to back. Anyways, I thought that was great. That was one of the best scenes I think I've read. It was because it was subtle. I love subtle scenes that do a bridge like that. Very good. Aaron, there's no time. Choose now. So he's basically saying, like, you can do what you want, but you got to choose. I'll keep going. dying. So that whole flashback for him to understand that he has to trust, and sometimes that trust does mean that people will die along the way. Target is accelerating full speed ahead. We'll get away. Impossible. If we keep galloping away with our backs to it, we'll be flattened. Even though it looks like we're going to die, even though it meant letting our comrades die, everyone chose to keep going. Captain Levi is looking straight ahead, and so are they. They believe in the captain. They trust him with their lives. Eesh. Did I choose this? I might have been able to save them. I left them to die. He's having some potential regrets here because he can't really make sense of it. That's it. It's because I wanted. He doesn't finish his thought here. Because I wanted ... Captain, keep going. It's a bit disruptive on how this one plays out because he's speaking between multiple panels, but then there's an interrupter panel on the page flip, which is weird. So it says that's it. It's because I wanted, and then there's a bit of an interrupter there. Captain, keep going, but it continues down here. I wanted something to rely on, something to believe in, like I did when I was with them. And it goes flashback to the moment there in the courtroom. I'm sick of being treated like a monster. I've had enough of being shunned. So I just wanted to think that I should believe in my comrades because it's easier that way. And he's right at the moment of being grabbed here, but he's got to be looking forward. He's not looking forward though. He's looking up, but he's got to be looking forward, but he's not. But then bam, 2-page spread once again. They're doing a lot of these, but you have to for the size of the Titans, But now they realize like something's up, and then you hear fire. And they have just drawn the Titan into an epic trap. Boom, boom, boom. A bunch of things fire off with a bunch of wires. She goes for the protection of the nape of the neck. And then a bunch of smoke here, Tether the horses a little ways up ahead. Then switch to vertical maneuvering. I've got my own task to carry out now. El's in command while I'm gone. Hide Aaron a safe distance from that Titan and take care of my horse. Got it? Up he goes, up and away. There goes Levy. No way. He looks back. We're going to take that Titan alive. They got her. That's crazy. How about that? Did you see? We caught that Titan. This is the power of the Survey Corps. Don't underestimate us, idiot. You see? Now do you get it? Yeah. There. Its joints are immobilized. I don't know, like 100 wires hooking the body to, I guess, the ground and trees and stuff like that. Anchoring her. Yep. Looks like it stopped. We can't let our guard down. I'm impressed you managed to lead it here. That's thanks to the rear squads who risked their lives fighting. They bought us the time we needed. They gave up their lives to basically slow her down just enough for the front, for Aaron and Levi, the squad Levi, to push on ahead and get to this point. Levi needed to get them to this point, but it meant that people had to die along the way to slow her down. But they were going to die. That was the plan. It was the calculus of war kind of moment, You gotta do it. Erwin had to make a call. Well, yeah, and then thanks to them, we'll meet whoever's inside that neck. I just hope whoever it is hasn't pissed themselves. I don't know why you have to end with a line like that. It's like epic. That's the last line you want to give for the end of a volume. It does look like that expression there. It does feel like the Titan acknowledges that they're in an oopsie. And this escalation is the kind of thing that, it's pretty close to a 5 for me. If I were to rate this one now, I think volume 2 is probably my favorite, but I might say this is probably my favorite at this point. Maybe I'll do a tier list at some point when I'm done the entire series, but hopefully I'll keep enough notes and have videos like this that I can fall back on to remind myself. The first read through, I was like, maybe it's a 4. It's not a 5 yet, but no. Going through it now, again, I was like, no. The pacing is solid. The setup is solid. The time where the flashback actually felt like appropriately paced here. It was in what I would call the third phase. The third phase right before this catalyst moment, this pinnacle that's going to take us into the fourth phase, the actual catalyst climax moment, which is that everything's on the line, everything's getting thrown at this thing, and then bam, you set off the trap, and it was a perfect ending for this volume. It's still cliffhangery enough that you're like, I have to read the next volume. And these are the sequence of things that I think I'm looking for me to give a 5-star rating to a volume that's in the middle of a series. Because I think that's hard to do, right? It's like you're going to get like maybe the high scores up front, and then in the middle of a series run, things are supposed to sort of slow down or something like that. But this one did not slow down. This one sped up. This one sped up in almost every way. And I feel like I would have maybe been a 4.5, but I would have rolled it down to a 4 because I'm like, it's not perfect. And I'm like, no. I just went through this again now for this vlog, and I was like, no, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's a 4.5 that rolls up to a 5 because in Goodreads I can't give a 0.5, so I think this is a 5. There you go. So I really enjoyed this. I think the cover also, if the cover has any value, maybe like a quarter rate, like if maybe the cover is going to be the thing that judges whether or not a 0.5 grade goes up or down. I don't know. Anyways, really good. I think it gives us a lot more substance for some of these other characters, like the Braun, Reiner, Braun, and Jean to some degree, man, there's like a shady part of Jean that I'm a little bit worried about at this point. But that's what makes the character compelling to me. I think a Braun, just because like there's like, oh man, he's the cutting of the fingers when like you like that moment happens, and you're like, fuck. And that's like, nah, man. So I think that might have been what would have helped that 4.5 go to a 5. It's little moments like that, it's the page turn moments that really like popped off for me. It was the bite moment, because we have that moment in volume 5 where he talks about how he triggered it, and then we have the carryover moment here where he's like, I'm just going to try that while in a well just to kind of see if that's what the trigger is. It's not, but then there's kind of a bonding moment that happens between all of them, and to make them really feel like a squad. Yeah, the subtleness of that was very nice. What else can I say about it? I would say from an art perspective, I think I've already called it out, especially early on, like this first chapter in this volume, man, the art is just stellar, man. Like these mega spreads here this is simple, but it's effective in the style. But it's more what I'm talking about is like the action moments, like where things really start to shine is when we get these like full page spreads, the double page spreads, the action moments where like there's dynamics and coordination going on, the action and frenetic lines that oh man, look at these panels, man. The panel action, everything about it is just, the art is a level above, and it's so good. It's so good. Anyways, so that's what I will say about volume 6. How did I do? Over an hour. God damn it. So no matter how, I didn't end up doing the review that I thought I was going to do. I still did it. This way is fun for me. It does make me feel like at least I have more cohesiveness around the pieces I'm piecing together, because I might read something in the early part of the volume that I can talk about in a comprehensive manner, because I can link it to something that's maybe foreshadowed, which I won't catch necessarily if I'm reading blind. And if I catch it, it's going to be at the end. I might go, oh wait, that thing happened like 3 chapters ago, and I have to flip back and go back to it. So yeah, that kind of stuff could still happen, and that's also fun, but I might also miss it. Whereas if I'm kind of going through it twice like this, and it does take me double the time, but man, I feel like I have a lot more to maybe say from a half analytical perspective, while also getting to re-experience some of those moments, because I did really feel like the epicness of some of those page turns and moments. I was like, looking at them again, I'm like, no, this is good. But I guess I will say whatever. This is still like a mystery production along the way, and I'm looking forward to, of course, what happens in volume 7. I do like this. Feels like the pace of this, we're gonna get some decent reveals, I think, or some like things are gonna go down. Like, do I think that they're gonna get this person we know what I'm thinking. Anyways, do I think they're gonna get her out of the neck? I don't. I feel like we're gonna get an escalation of this. This is still gonna pop off, and there's gonna be like, this Titan is so strategic, and because it's kind of a main-ish character, if I'm right, which I believe I am, it's gonna be like, it's probably gonna get free, and then they're gonna have to recapture it. But then how do they do that? Because this was the whole moment, was this moment. There's going to be an escalation to this, because I'm still in this mode where I think about the manga volumes in phases of 4 as well, and I'm subconsciously, I think, maybe still piecing things together that way, where I go, all right, well, if volume 4 was sort of like the resolution of the first 4 volume arc of Attack on Titan, and volume 5 would have been like the phase 1 or the act 1 of the next 4, right? You see where I'm going with this? And so volume 6 would be the second phase of this, which would be more of the journey, the exploration, the exposition, which we got like the whole Eren, the bite didn't work, the team kind of bonding moment, right? This is when you have all the relationship kind of moments happen. And then you have your phase 3, which would be the volume 7. And so phase 3 for me is like, it's an escalation still. It's like, this still needs to go worse, right? Like, we have the midpoint now, which is like, you got her. And so there's like this idea of this false win pattern that will happen at the midway point. And so that might be what this becomes, right? For the next volume, where they have to now get her out of there. But we know that it's not easy to do, because she's like, the ankle wasn't getting cut. Like, she's got harder skin or something like that, right? And so that's messed up. And so I think that's going to cause some problems. And then it's going to be the escalation point of a phase 3 is going to take you to the moment, which usually involves like a death of some sort, right? Some sort of like moment, like there's going to be a loss of some sort. Who's that loss going to be? Well, they got plenty of characters to choose from, like, but it would have to be like a significant enough character that it's going to leave an impact. The way, like, Marco wasn't a significant character, but it left an impact on Jean. And so that's the kind of moment we're talking about, right? And they are doing this kind of stuff stuff on the back cover now, and so I feel like maybe that's a very clever way, and thank God I didn't pick up on that when I was organizing the books because I wouldn't have had the connection. But now I really don't want to pull out the volumes because I don't want to see the back covers, you know. But I feel like that's probably a volume 7, and then volume 8 would be sort of the resolution of this next 4 volume. It's not an arc, right? Because I don't know what the arcs are for Attack on Titan, and I don't need to know them because maybe that'll maybe change my interpretations. But just so you know how I'm kind of mapping this out and how I can speculate maybe at the ends like this. If you enjoy this, I'll do it, but be careful with the spoilers below. Don't confirm or deny. I'm just saying from a patterns perspective, this is what I'm looking for because it helps me kind of read and analyze while I'm reading because I'm kind of looking for these moments, right? Then I can talk about them next time I do the volume 7 review, commentary, post reaction. Maybe we'll go back to blind at some point, but I'm going to see how it feels maybe for these 4. Maybe I'll do up to 8. I'll do them in this fashion and maybe we'll twist it around again and I'll try in a different format and we'll see how that feels. And then whatever, we got 30 plus, I forget how many volumes there are, but we got plenty of time. And then we got other series that we're going to get to, and all of this is going to inform the future of this kind of content. I do enjoy doing this quite a bit, and so I'm not going to stop. It's just I keep talking about this, but the way that they get done is going to morph along the way because that's part of the experience now. Because if I mold them together, then I will just keep reading. I'll keep moving forward. And thank you for your time. As always, I'll catch you in the next stack of episodes. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.